Okay, so the first thing I'm going to talk about is what do you do if your laptop blows up or gets left somewhere and you don't have Visual Studio and in a hurry you need to get some homework done. What you're going to want to do is to go to Google and do C++ online compiler. And they all work pretty good. I don't have one to recommend over the other. Why don't we choose Repl.it, repl.it, and you come up with a page like this. So here's my little program right here. I know the print is small and I'm not sure how much control I have over it. Anyways, so yeah, there I've zoomed it up, right? And so I could write a program here and maybe I need to add a new file. So I could add a file by clicking on that, and I'm going to make test.h, for example. I need to include that header file. And I'm not sure what that header file is going to do. I'm going to add pragma once on it. I still need to explain what that does. And then # define the word one as, how about the word equals to be those symbols, so that over here I can do # include quote test.h end quote. And then I can use that macro I've defined, right? I can say int x equals 3, and then if x equals 3, then cout, yes it does, \n. Alrighty, and since I don't have using namespace up here, it wants me to add the std in front of that. Of course, I could just add it, right? But anyways, there we go. And so I could do my homework right here. I'll post a link to this. Why don't I go do that in the announcements right now? One student I know who needs to use an online compiler, all of a sudden they have to use a Mac. If you were going to use a Mac, I would recommend getting Xcode. You get Xcode under the App Store. I was going to use that today and demonstrate it. Unfortunately, I'm not running the newest version of the operating system on my Mac. I'm using Mojave and not Catalina or whatever the 15th version is. I'm only using the 14th version of the operating system. So I'm kind of stuck. It won't let me download it. So in that case, I would just go ahead and use, an online compiler. So if you need to do some C++ programming and can't access Visual Studio or Xcode, a quick solution is to use an online compiler. I just demonstrated, and it looks pretty good. Now, the problem of using an online compiler is that unless you create a new account, looks like you can do it with Facebook, and it looks like you can do it with Google. But if you don't create a new account, then your files are going to be gone. So make absolutely sure you take screenshots. And if you want to have this source code around, you better copy and paste this source code into a file as well. So like I might need to open up text editor Word, and then I could copy and paste that stuff, right? So anyways, right? Whoops, that's not right. Come in here, grab all this stuff. Oh, aren't you being persnickety? Copy it, paste it into a, some kind of text editor, and then you could upload that, right? I'd also want you to give me test.h in this case. So I would need to go and get test.h as well. And so what you might want to do is document that this is test.h, that's the file name, and that this is your main program, main.cpp or whatever you want to call it. And then upload that. That'll work just as good as doing it on your home machine, right? So then I could run the program like I did. I could take a screenshot of it having run. I could upload the screenshot and I could upload the source code and it'd be good to go. All right, hope that makes sense. I almost feel like saving that as a separate lecture. I'm going to do that.